Hey Claire.
How are ya?
Good. You ready for Wise Up Wednesday?
Let's do it.
Awesome.
So we're going to answer some anonymous questions from students.
Great.
So let's start with this one.
Okay.
This person wants to know, how does birth control work?
Okay, awesome question. So, birth control is a hormonal method, such as like we're talking about the pill or like the patch. And what these hormones do is they stop ovulation. So, ovulation is when an egg leaves the ovary and goes into the fallopian tube. And it's in the fallopian tube that the sperm meet the egg, right? And so if ovulation is stopped, then the egg never leaves the ovary and the egg can't come into contact with the sperm and pregnancy doesn't happen.
Got it. Awesome.
Okay, here's one for you. This person wants to know if you can get pregnant or get an STI while you're on your period.
Okay, so let's start with the pregnancy part of it.
Mm-hmm.
So someone can get pregnant while on their period. So sperm can actually live inside the uterus for up to 6 days.
Wow.
So someone doesn't really know when they're going to be ovulating, and even though they're not ovulating during their period, they could ovulate right after their period, and if that sperm is still present, it could meet up with that egg and a pregnancy could begin. So it is possible to get pregnant while on someone's period. And as for an STI, it is also possible to get an STI while on someone's period. There's no correlation between someone's period and an STI transmission. So it's really important to use protection to prevent against STIs. So a condom is a really good way to prevent against STIs, and it can also help prevent a pregnancy. And then as for the pregnancy, a non-barrier method such as one you talked about, like the pill or the patch, can also help prevent against pregnancy. So using both a non-barrier and a barrier method is the best way to protect.
Great.
All right, how about this one? Is it normal to bleed the first time you have sex?
That's a really great question. And it kind of depends on the person.
Right.
Some people bleed the first time they have sex and some people don't. Some people who have vaginas have this thing called the hymen. And the hymen is a membrane that covers part of the vaginal opening. It doesn't cover it all. And so when someone has sex, or penetrative sex, this membrane might stretch a little bit. And so if somebody is new to having penetrative sex, or it's been a while, or maybe it's just slightly different, the hymen might stretch a little bit and there might be some blood, but it shouldn't hurt. It might be a little bit uncomfortable and that'll go away with time, but it should not hurt.
Okay, great.
Okay, here's our last one. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay, this person wants to know, how do I know when it's okay to be sexually active?
Okay, cool. So it's obviously a really personal decision. It's different for everyone, right? And there's no age that is the correct age to start having sex. It's really different for every person. Things to keep in mind, I'd say healthy communication is super important. So making sure that you are ready to have that communication with your partner, and consent is so important. So along with consent, we know that being informed is a really important part of that. So making sure that someone knows their own STI status and the status of their partner is really important before engaging in a risky activity. And then just making sure that both partners are really excited about what's going to take place. So that all kind of comes back to communication, right? Like making sure that you're having those conversations with your partner and making sure you're both ready and both prepared and both knowledgeable about what's going to happen.
And just want to.
And yeah, just excited about it.
Right.
Awesome.